Whoa, this is the Yewllusion reporting from somewhere on spaceship Earth. We're getting fired up on the information. So I've been going, so like I was saying in my last video, I've been tapping back into the information, man. I've been listening to the information again. And when you listen to the information, you listen for new information of where that information leads. So I was listening to one of these Joseph Farrell talks about the Giza pyramid and where all the stone structures are placed around the planet, and that they were all part of like a machine that used to encompass the whole planet once upon a time, that all the stone structures were basically a machine once upon a time. And he brought up this dude, Carl Monk, right? The Code. Carl Monk, this video, The Code, if you type into YouTube, Carl Monk, M-U-N-C-K, The Code, it's going to blow your mind. And it blew my mind when I discovered it 8 years ago. And it was one, and I don't know how I got to it, but it was one of the videos that led me into the whole mind-expanding thing about the stone structures. And what this what does he call it? It's geomathematics, dude. Geomathematics is the thing, I think. And he goes on and he basically moves the meridian of 0 from Greenwich to the Giza pyramid and starts mathematically crunching the numbers of the pyramids and using the outcome of those numbers with longitude and latitude based upon 0 being at the Giza pyramid, and it basically starts exactly pinpointing where other stone structures are related on the planet. And all these guys are basically talking about how the stone structures are really coded geometric algorithms. Like if you go check out that, there's a picture of that one big runes down in one of the big Quetzalcoatl. That's not what it's, Tiwanaku. It's not Tiwanaku. It's the one down in Mexico, man, and on the Yucatan. That if you overlay that pyramid complex with a computer chip, they're almost identical, and the computer chip happens to be the one that's in the D-Wave computer. So it gets into this whole thing where there's way more going on here, and it's all about the stone structures. Is to uncoding what's really going on here on spaceship Earth. And it is. That's why it's a spaceship, man. It's like once upon a time they knew this and were using it as a spaceship. But that also, it's interesting how things happen. I just got this email from this dude who's like, I followed one of the links you said, and it tapped into some like spiritual thing I was involved with, and I clicked on the sidebar and it basically dispelled all of it. And what I would say to all of this information is you have to use your discernment, man. You're either, and I was talking about it last night, you're either trying to get closer to God or you're not. And if you're trying to get closer to God, the more you get closer to God, the more God gives you discernment to separate the wheat from the chaff. And the more information's going to come in, because it all comes to a lot of the spiritual principles are you already are enlightened. You don't need a teacher. So it's this email I got from this guy. You're not supposed to be like attaching yourself to other earthly beings and having them get between you and God. That's what the hucksters do, the simpletons, the charlatans, that's what I was talking about. So that you're supposed to use your discernment, and anyone who's trying to get you to jump through a hoop to get you closer to God is not to be trusted. Especially because I think right now we have a lot of people that are thirsty and hungry for God. And because their minds aren't fully developed and fully in discernment, and we're coming out, are unplugging from the matrix, they're vulnerable to snake oil salesmen saying, hey, dude, come my way. I'll take you to God. And because, right, like, if the devil's the ultimate, like, mimicker, the charlatan, the full facade master. So the devil can dress itself up to look like enlightenment. And it's what I was talking about with all these hallucinogens and stuff. Is it dresses itself up as like, but it's a false paradigm. It's, how would I describe it? It's basically inserting yourself in a snow globe and going, this is reality, dude. And you're stuck in the globe, man. But what we have to do is we have to be willing to adventure through the information and discern for yourself. Now, like all this stuff I talk, like this Karl Munch guy, he's not trying to like sell you anything. If you watch The Code, the guy's classic. And all he's doing is math on a piece of legal paper. That's it. That's all the guy's doing. And he's not asking for anything. See, that's the thing is we have to be real careful nowadays, man. And we have to trust our faith. I was talking to some guys about faith today. And for me, what faith is knowing that even when you lose your way with God, that God hasn't lost his way with you. Does that make sense? Because I'm a human, right? I'm just some guy with an iPhone navigating the chaos of this lower dimensional reality, right? But because I have faith, I know that my human condition is gonna steer me away from God, but I have faith knowing that God is always gonna come and get me. All I have to do is having what faith is for me anyway, is I've chosen God. I have chosen to have my personal relationship with Jesus Christ as my Savior, and I am heading home. Will I deviate off the path? All the time, but I have faith because I know that God will always steer me back to the path, towards the light, and that God will always give me the tools to discern the dark information. I mean, I look at my own recent life, like God is doing for me what I couldn't do for myself. I look at where I'm at right now is like, yeah, the smoke is starting to clear. I'm realizing more and more why I needed to go through what I needed to go through was, again, it was faith. Because when push came to shove recently, I didn't turn my back on God. God didn't turn his back on me. In fact, in the moment of confusion, God's just like, I got you, guy. Don't even sweat it, man. Just keep moving forward with your son. Everything's going to be fine. And now I'm in a stabilized environment, and I'm beginning to receive the information. And see, all of this stuff down here is all information and tools to get us all to God. The stone structures aren't on the planet as just window dressing. The stone structures are here to provide us information. And get into it, baby. Because it's got something to do with frequencies. So the other thing I fully had forgotten about that I heard got brought up in this Joseph Farrell talk was, and I'm pretty sure Joseph Farrell, just to clarify, is a Christian and is that Joseph Farrell started talking about this dude, Bruce Cathy. And this guy, 8 years ago, blew my mind because I listened to his thing, and he was in the, in 96, he was in the 50s, he was talking about how that in order to detonate a nuclear bomb, that you can't just detonate one any old time, that it had to be actually in celestial alignment, and that the earth and all the planets had to be in these perfect places, and that's why they detonated them at specific spots, because the nuclear bombs actually are so powerful that are ripping holes in time and space, and that they're opening portals, and it's all tied into the stone structures, because the stone structures around the planet are tied into the nodal points of the energy field of the earth, sort of like acupuncture. And that all of these things are working together, because really what's going on is these people are all trying to crack open the multi-dimensional universe to let in the demons, man. And that's what this whole thing's about. We're going to God. We don't need to crack into that dimension. We're going into the bigger dimension. You see, it's these lower dimensional cracks. And it could be that the stone structures around the planet were trying to protect us from all of this stuff, and that it got through. We don't know. It's all, dude, I've been getting way into like reading the book. The Bible's radical, man. I've been like, because I'm reading it with a new sense of like discernment, something I didn't have when I used to try to read it back in the day. Like, I'm reading it kind of from a fresh perspective as a man who's been humbled and relied on his faith to get through the trials and tribulations of life. Like, I've been put through a test, if you will. And at any point along the way, I could have gone to the dark side. And I've had to be in the dark side, but I was always had God with me the whole way. Use your discernment, man. There's a lot of information out there, but it's all about the same stuff, man. It's all coming down to the pinch point, man. It's all about getting the camel through the eye of the needle, right? And anyway, that's what I'm tripping on. I'm listening to Carl Munch, like, dude, just go to Carl Munch, the code. Don't forget to donate to the channel, buy some coffee cups, hit subscribe, do what you do. Let's get the word out, man. Let's make sure no one gets dialed in with any of these false prophets, dude. I'm just a guy with an iPhone, man. That's all I am. And I have faith because I have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, man. Make of it what you will. Anyway, it's the Yewllusion signing off.